Pause. Okay, wait a second. The most unexpected thing about Josh Johnson. And we're back. What's goody? What's goody, mob, with you friendships? How are thines? How are thines? Very good, very good, very good. Okay. So I was telling the story about when I first ever saw Josh Johnson in concert, because that's what I call it. Okay. And when I went to go see Josh Johnson in concert, I had a really unexpected experience with some members of the freaking crowd that it was just, I don't know. It actually all worked out pretty well, but it was pretty not what I expected. But also, then afterwards, there's a meet and greet. After this, in part 3, I'm going to tell you what happened to the dude who was in the wheelchair, and I'm going to talk to you about how I dodged a bullet. 2 separate things, okay? But in this story, I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to tell you and the embarrassingness. Okay, so first of all, I don't know what it is, but I, being black, went and got my hair done before I go see Josh Johnson. I don't even get my hair done. But it was such a special event in my life. I was like, I'm gonna go get my hair done. So I had the girl straighten my hair and put some curls in it. Yeah, straighten my hair and put some curls in it. Totally makes sense. And then about 20 minutes after I left her house, my hair was no longer and it was just a big ugly poof instead of a. Today is messed up. You remember I'm doing the thing where I'm not allowed to wear makeup or anything, and I have to make these videos, so I look crazy today. I'm doing this to get myself out there after having a channel with no visuals, all right, or no facials, no facial expression. You couldn't see my face in the video in the channel I've had for 7 years, okay? And so I had to get used to this again. All right, so go check all that stuff out, do the things. So here's the deal. I've been a fan of Josh Johnson for quite some time. I decided that I was going to have him sign something that he had done that was very special to me. I love Josh Johnson for years. And a few years back, even though I found him on YouTube finally showed me that Josh Johnson had a whole channel, like a channel, like his channel. I was like, how am I not subscribed to this? I don't know how it was. One day I commented, that day, actually, the day I discovered it, I commented on the video and I was like, trash algorithm, not telling me Josh Johnson had a channel. Psh, boo. And guess what? Friends? He loved it. He loved it with his whole heart. He loved it with he put a heart on. And I was like, oh my God. And I was so freaked out. I was so happy. And so I wanted Josh to sign that. So I designed it. I printed it. I went to CVS and I printed it. Okay. Yes. And I was super excited to meet Josh. And I had all these things that I was going to tell Josh for months. Okay. I have an issue with maladaptive daydreaming and ruminating. And sometimes it's positive. It's still a waste of my time and energy, but sometimes it's positive. And it's like, when I meet Josh Johnson, I'm going to tell him how great he is. I'm going to encourage him. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that. I should have probably wrote something down. In fact, I was like, I'm going to give him a letter. And I'm like, a letter for what? That's weird. You're weird. And so I never wrote the letter. I did get the stuff printed. And so at the show, I have my little envelope. I'm so excited. And afterwards, I waited in the line and I was really scared that he was going to have to like leave or something before I could meet him, because I had this whole thing and it's like, dang, like he's not going to sign my thing now. But I wanted to make sure other people could go because there was some things going on and I just wanted people to be happy. So I end up finally getting to talk to him towards the end, like when everybody's almost gone, but there's still some people behind me and I'm like nervous. I had the drinks and I don't really drink like that. And so like, I'm not like, but I think I'm buzzed and I'm elated from like seeing him, and it was such a good show, and we had that victory against you know who from video 1, and I don't know, I was just in such a great place that I didn't expect that the moment that I got to where he was and had the opportunity to shake his hand. This is the most unexpected thing about Josh. And you might say, what would make you think it'd be otherwise? Pause. Okay, wait a second. The most unexpected thing about Josh Johnson is that he is the nicest man on earth. And here's the thing. It's kind of obvious, I guess, but also like when you think about most comedians, I don't think that you would describe them as the nicest people on earth. Comedians often have to talk about tough things, and comedians can be very sarcastic or snarky. And so because of how good of a comedian Josh is on stage and the way he like addresses things, there's nothing in my mind that's like, oh yeah, he's definitely gonna be the nicest guy on earth. In fact, I think that in one of my maladaptive daydreams, I was gonna freaking be snarky with him. I was gonna say something snarky. I can't remember what, because who would do that to Josh Johnson now that I met him and I know him? I don't know him, but I'd love to know you, Josh. But not in that way. I'm grown and you're grown and we could be no, that also sounds inappropriate. Okay, Josh, I'll see you around. Anywho, so I finally get to Josh Johnson. Mind you, I'm with the dude, by the way, okay, we get to Josh Johnson. Josh Johnson is a very small man. I'm not laughing at him. It's not a problem. I'm not joking. But Josh Johnson has spent the last many, many years trying to tell us he's a small man. He's said it. He's reiterated to us that he's a small man. And I still saw Josh Johnson as like 6'2". I don't know. There's something about his aura. He's got that kind of tall, slim person vibration, right? You're like, yeah, he's tall and slim. I could see that for him. Boy, when I tell you, Josh Johnson is a small person. And I am not a small person. I've actually always said to people, I'm a large woman. I'm very sturdy. I got these size 10s for a reason, okay? And so the first thing is walking up to him and wanting to pick him up and carry him like a little baby, and then little Joshy Washy. Boy. The second thing is, he was the most gracious, most kindest, most positive, most lovely energy. Just, oh, hello, little, oh, you are, hello, lady. I'm respectful. He Keanu'd me. He didn't touch me. Bro is a genius. If Josh Johnson is actually like a dick, like what if Josh Johnson's like, screw everybody, I'm actually an a-hole, which impossible, right? But if he is, boy, that boy is smart. And if he's not, he's still very smart, because let's just think about what he's done in the last few years out of nowhere, but not out of nowhere. That's something that bothers me about people. People say people like Josh Johnson are plants, and I feel like Josh Johnson is the epitome. He's the answer for like, how did you come up so fast? And it's like, what made you think that this happened overnight? You know, I've been with Josh Johnson for years, bro. I didn't even live in the state that I live in when I was like falling in love with Josh as a comedian, you know? So anyways, Josh is a very short man and he's a very kind man. And I think that I was expecting a taller, more sarcastic, but in a silly way, you know what I mean? Like an a-hole in a fun way, you know what I mean? No, Josh Johnson was so nice, I couldn't find my words. Maybe I was just starstruck, you know what I'm saying? But I generally don't get like that. Like I don't worship celebrities. I feel like if I saw somebody, I'd be like, oh, hey. But you know what? I think that also just goes to show like how much I really, really love Josh. Like I do feel like I'd probably act like that around a couple of people. So, oh my goodness. I wanted to tell Josh this. I wanted to say, Josh, listen, bro, I've been watching comedy since I was a kid. I grew up on Comic View. I really, really, really love comedy. And I also have a certain caliber of comedian, right? I was going to tell him, hey, you want to know who my top 5 comedians are of all time? Well, not in any order, but a little bit, right? Is that how you guys feel? Do you want to walk away from watching me right now? Am I boring? Screw you guys. Anyways, oh, I'm so comfortable now. Oh gosh, dogs be like, you're gonna lay uncomfortably here, all right, and your body's gonna fall asleep, and that's fine, because I'm happy. So I wanted to say to Josh, I have 5 favorite comedians, and I was gonna be like, first there's Dave Chappelle, then there's Cat Williams, then there's Jim Gaffigan, and then there's Sebastian Maniscalco. And even though he's not a stand-up, my birthday twin, freaking Will Ferrell, with these powers combined, you have a beautiful Captain Planet, and that Captain Planet is you, Josh. You. I wanted to tell him that I used to have this list, and when I first found Josh Johnson, then shortly after I found Tone Bell and Langston Kerman, and there was 2 others, and I had this fist thing that I used to do, and I would be like, and this is how sad this is, I could obviously name the people that I kind of grown up with, okay, and then there was like Langston Kerman, Tone Bell, and these 2 other dudes who I actually looked this up and I went through all the old videos on like Comedy Central. I tried to find like, who are these 2 other dudes that they looked very similar to Tone Bell and Langston Kerman. Like, and I made a joke that it was like they were like the light-skinned crew with Josh Johnson, because he was like my top new guy. But as time went on, you know, a lot of these people aren't putting out new specials or new comedy, or if they are, like Jim Gaffigan's last special, rest his soul. No, I'm just kidding. It's a lot, but he was talking a lot about death and stuff, and I'm like, I'm too traumatized for that right now, Jimmy. I'm gonna have to come back, you know. And so there's just certain certain things, and then everything going on with like Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams and all these opinions and stuff, I felt like scared. Like, I don't know how to separate the art from the artist. I don't know how to do that. And I don't know what's allowed to be good or bad anymore. So I'm just going to pretend it's 2009. Is that cool with you guys? But then Josh comes along and it's like, finally, there's somebody who is so funny and not just like, oh, it's okay for me to laugh at him, but like, I genuinely die watching Josh, and I needed that. I grew up flipping back and forth between SNL and Mad TV, and if you're curious, I was always making sure I didn't miss SNL, because I know some people might have done the same thing, but they were watching. I'm okay. So when I tell you, like, I wanted so badly to articulate that to him and let him know, like, bro, I see you, you're doing this amazing thing, and I'm really grateful for you. And how about I said, I really liked your comedy. Oh God, I can't talk. I like it a lot. And okay. Josh, I'm sorry. Let me start over. I guess all I can tell you is that I have this list of 5 comedians that are my favorite, and now you top them all. And he said, after all this, how was that? I don't know. He said, oh, wow, that is so nice. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I was so embarrassed. I was so scared and sad. And I thought this would be my moment to be like, Josh, you're the greatest comedian of all time. And he would be like, thank you, I believe it. And he would go and be the greatest. And I failed. But luckily, he's already that, I guess. So that was the time I met Josh Johnson, and I'm really, really happy. Do I have it? I think I can show you the thing. You want me to, hold on. Just be quiet over there. Be quiet. He said, thank you so much for coming. You can see me in the thing. Hey, what's up? And the comment says, you see the heart? That's Josh. The comment says, years ago, YouTube introduced, Years ago, YouTube introduced me to this legend, but it really had the audacity to hide this channel from me all this time. Trash algorithm. Time to binge a podcast. That was over 2 years ago when I wrote that comment. Oh, man. So the plan is that in this blank section, he was so sweet too, because I had to tell him what I was trying to do. In this blank section, I'm going to put the picture, you know what I'm saying? And then and I'm going to scan it again. And then in every picture that we take, because in my brain, this is going to be a lifelong fandom, right? Every picture that we take, I'm going to put the picture inside the picture inside the picture. Okay. So I'm super excited. No mic. Am I going to have to do a voiceover? Am I going to have to explain everything again? I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. This is not how, see, normally I got a mic set up and it's pointed at me. This is the trick. Focus. If you want to tell Josh that I'd like to go see his shows, please tell Josh. It's back. I had 88 triggers. I just have to say what I was saying before, and then I say, and then I say, and then I say. So I'm going to go see Josh this year. And when I do, he's going to sign the thing. I lost it again. I actually just remembered, and I lost it again when I said the ADHD also. Josh Johnson. Microphone, the story, picture, telling you about Josh. Oh, it's because I wasn't supposed to talk about this. That's why I can't remember what I'm talking about. If you ever see me post anything from Josh Johnson on my channel, it will be something that he said in a special, or they're not even specials. They're just his weekly, news updates. But anyways, if that happens, please watch it. If I ever monetize this channel or make any money from any of those videos, I will simply send them to whatever freaking thing Josh Johnson likes. Okay. Cause I'm already a philanthropist. I've had a homeless ministry since 2007. Don't play with me, but they probably won't make any money. However, look at what I'm showing you. Notice that I have cut out and cut it down into the message. See, Josh is a storyteller, and Josh also is a messenger. And Josh comes with these messages as a part of his stories that he's telling, as a part of his comedy that he's doing. And he often has these really beautiful, rich messages in which he is able to impart wisdom on people who might not hear this kind of stuff otherwise. He's able to change perspectives through this work. And sometimes the stuff he says is so profound, and often like towards the end of the show or something, that I worry someone's gonna miss it. I spend a lot of time making those videos, and that's not the point of what I'm saying. It's just for the people who are like, you're you're stealing. And it's like, are you even watching what this is? Do you not notice that this is clearly not just him doing the special? I sit down and I remove all the laughter, all the extra stuff, and distill it down into the message that he's trying to deliver. Sometimes he'll go off on a tangent about something else. I have to sit there and go through and basically find the story that maybe Josh decided he wanted to tell and he had to weave it in. I have to unweave it so that people can hear it. And I feel like he's trying to change the world. And people who don't like comedy are going to miss that. I feel like when I distill them down, they're almost like TED Talks. And I really want to encourage Josh. If he ever does see them, I hope what he gets out of this is I should do TED Talks. Like, I should go and do like speeches as much as I'm doing comedy, because I'm really, really good at reaching people. So I just want to thank you for hanging out with me as I tell this story about meeting freaking Josh Johnson and how amazing he is, and how I don't think anyone could act that nice. I think he is that nice. I think he's a good old Louisiana boy. That sounded bad, actually, but in a good way. I think he's a good Southern gentleman. I think that he has a beautiful heart and he really means well and he wants to change the world for the better. And I want to support him in that and make sure that as many people as possible know, like, Josh Johnson has been putting in the work for years. I've watched him come up as a connoisseur of comedy, and I am like so inspired by him. And I think you would be too, just by getting to know him. I highly suggest that if you're new to Josh Johnson, and when I say that, I mean, even if you've been watching for 2 years, go watch his old stuff. That's how you really understand who he is. That's where I can't even explain like his origin story. You understand how he used to tell comedy and how he has grown. And it's just really incredible to see this guy, and that he's always been this humble and self-aware. And I feel like these are things that you miss the bigger someone gets. You don't notice that stuff as much as they gain their confidence, as they gain their voice. You don't realize like this is ingrained in this guy. So I highly suggest that every single person on the planet get to know Josh Johnson and go to his shows. If he's got a chance for you to meet him, meet him. Just talking to him will just like lower your blood pressure. He's just such a nice person. And speaking of that, now I'm going to tell in part 3 about how Josh Johnson triggered my date and helped me dodge a bullet. So if you're interested in that, and also if you want to know what happened with the guy in the wheelchair, that maybe the comedy place will see this and realize like how up it was, and maybe they'll make a change. I don't know, but at least if you just want to know like an accessibility story, I think it's actually really, really bad. Okay, so I'm gonna tell that in part 3. Is this part 3 or part 4? I don't know, but I'm gonna tell it next. Okay, please sure to just subscribe. Be sure to do that, because that's how you'll see my channel more. I mean, God knows that YouTube might also just not recommend it. But you know what? Subscribing makes that more likely. And if you like this video, then I will feel really, really good. Also, if you leave a comment, I don't know, these are things that everybody just says, and I think they do something like maybe make the channel get put in front of people more. It's, like a support thing, and it's free. So please, thank you for your time, for doing the things that are free down all around. Okay, I love you, and watch some videos. I have other videos. Bye. Okay, that's it. That was not cool.